This is Jules Summit Biochemistry Hub, and I remain your host, Dr. Janet. The last type of the major enzyme inhibition will be the uncompetitive inhibition. We've looked at competitive, we looked at non-competitive. Today we're looking at uncompetitive. Why on? Because in this type of inhibition, there is practically no form of competition at all between the inhibitor and the substrate of an enzyme. Why? In this type of inhibition, the inhibitor cannot bind to the substrate cannot bind to an enzyme unless the enzyme substrate binds to it first. Which means that even the binding site of inhibitors of this kind are not available on the enzyme, the free enzyme, but only become available after the enzyme binds to its substrate. So there's no way to bind until I bind to my substrate, then you can come and bind. So because there is no form of competition at all between enzyme, substrates, and inhibitors for the enzyme, we call it uncompetitive inhibition. How does this type of inhibition affect the Liouville's equation or plot? Before that, let's look at this. Enzyme plus substrate will give us enzyme substrate. This is active. It is this that can give us products. But when the inhibitor binds to this, the ESI, which is enzyme substrate inhibitor complex, is inactive, cannot produce products. For that reason, this kind of inhibition will not only affect the Km, but will also affect the maximum velocity of this reaction. How? Uncompetitive inhibition reduces both the Km of the enzyme and its maximum velocity. Let's see that. If we are going to draw that plot, the Liouville's plot, 1 over substrate concentration, 1 over V. Our usual plot, if there is no inhibition, should be this. This is this. No inhibition. Remember, here is the 1 over V max. Here is the minus 1 over Km. If this is uncompetitive inhibition, if it's an inhibition, you're going to have a graph separate. Another one. So these ones represent presence of inhibition. So you see, the Km is going this way, which is reducing. The Vmax is going upwards, which means it's what? Reducing. So the Km this way, the Vmax. This kind of inhibition affects the Km this way, the Vmax upwards, reducing both this and this. So we have different Vmax and different Km. An example of inhibition is seen in phenylalanine versus alkaline phosphatase, the placental isoforms. Phenylalanine is able to uncompetitively inhibit alkaline phosphatase produced by the placenta.